Welcome. I am just cheesing. I cannot stop. I am so excited to introduce the guest I have today. First of all, I want to welcome you all to The Greatness Around Me. That is the name of this show. And today we are definitely around some greatness. Please give it up for Baba Bolaji.
Whatever.
Y'all hear we have an audience, okay? So we putting on hard today. We got people watching, okay? So, first of all, is Bolaji your given name? Let's start there.
No, if you write me a check, it's Louis Bailey.
Okay, if you write him a check, write the correct name, okay? Or
Yes,
not.
right.
Well,
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, Louis Bailey.
Write the right name.
Cash is way easier.
So how did you get to Bolaji?
I was I'm trying to look at it so often so I can look
It's
at the
okay.
camera.
You're talking to me. You can talk to me.
All right. I used to be a drummer for a long time, for many years, and that was what I did. That was my little art. And so I played for a bunch of African dance companies. And because at that time in Atlanta, this is in the 70s, they didn't have too many drummers, hand drummers. And so I used to play for the little ceremonies, all the African ceremonies.
Wait a minute. You've been in Atlanta for how long?
Since 70, I got here 73.
Oh my goodness. That's
Long time.
okay, we'll just say early 70s.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. But you're not from here.
No, I'm from California,
Okay, what part? LA?
Pasadena,
Oh, nice.
Bakersfield, actually country California.
It's
Bakersfield's country.
It
Home of
is.
Merrill Haggard, and that's where the stockyards come
Well, they
in.
have houses.
Yeah.
But I feel
Stoplights and everything. But
So you came to Atlanta. Did you come to Atlanta to drum or you?
no, I came to Atlanta to go to school. I got it. Anyway, what happened? I went to college.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, you went to college.
A lot of people didn't know
Black man
that.
in
I went to college, and I went back and I started working as a research assistant for a junior college, right? And I was in a host stage. Okay, so.
All the men in the 70s were in the host stage.
Yeah, I was in the host stage. And so I was running around, and one of these teachers was telling me about all the bad sisters in Atlanta, right?
That's still our reputation.
Yeah, and so I was like, wow, man, I got to get to Atlanta, right? And so,
Emerald City.
yeah, it was like really like that. And so I was in the middle of running through all what I was running through, and I managed to work up a grant because I was working for the grants office. So I got a full scholarship to Atlanta University in School of Social Work.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. I need you now. Like, come on.
And so I got here. I had them pay for my whole trip and everything. So I got here because they had hardly no dues was doing social work. So it was now I'm in a School of Social Work with like 100 people and 80 of them is women. And so
That's just bad. Those numbers are horrible.
it was pretty wild.
Great for you.
So I was elected class president, which was something. And it was my whole little claim to fame.
It's so funny.
I know, it's so weird, isn't it?
I love it.
And so my claim to fame is we had the last demonstration of the school. Now Sam Jackson and them had done a demonstration too, where they had locked the what's it called. We just had one for our particular school, the School of Social Work, and it was a big old deal. Let them march up the street and all that shit.
But why?
Because
The time.
it was just the times.
Yeah.
And they were so proud, and then they hated us too because we were yelling shit and everything. But anyway, process of that, I was drumming, and there wasn't hardly no drummers. I had been drumming in California.
Okay.
And so when I was drumming here, I used to drum out on the street. That's where I met Sambo and them because I used to drum in the street down there on Fair Street. They used to have drummers would come there through the week, and I would play with them. And so I started playing with all these dance companies because I was pretty good. I played with 2 or 3 different dance companies, and I was also playing for the ceremonies. And even though I didn't know what the hell was going on, they would give me a few dollars, and I would go play for the ceremonies. And what happened, one of the sisters over there was a priestess and used to be the head priest at the village down there in South Carolina.
Okay.
And she had sort of fell out with them over some little issues. And she had came back here, and so we were kind of helping her out. And so she read me and told me that my name was Bolaji, but it's supposed to be Ade Bolaji, but there was already about 8 niggas with the name Ade.
Because that name is King.
Yeah, and so
King Bolaji. How you gonna get away from the King title?
so I
He don't even want to be great.
and so anyway, they call me Bolaji. But Bolaji like Murgatroyd or some shit. It ain't no popular name. You know, it's like some Heathcliff or some shit like that.
I don't know another Bolaji. I know.
That sounds like some shit. I didn't, they called me Bolaji because I wanted a cool name like Ade and shit. But they had so many other niggas had Ade, so I had to do Bolaji. So anyway, that was how I got
there. Oh my goodness!
So
but
that's
you
my
kept
story.
it.
I kept it.
Yeah,
I
it's
kept
all right.
it.
Wait, so do you know what Bolaji means?
He who inherits the throne, I think it was. They told me it was
How
a good name.
Just double royalty. I love it.
I said,
But that is a big transition to go from Lewis to Bolaji. That's
And there's a lot of people don't know who Lewis is.
Yeah.
I know a whole bunch of niggas never knew they never knew Lewis ever. You know, when I had the club and all that shit, they never knew me as nothing but Bolaji. Okay, my claim to fame, I had the first reggae club in Atlanta.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, it was the African Eye. It was right there on Mason Turner. I got newspaper clippings and everything.
Damn, I should have had. Well, I didn't know too heavy bring it, but maybe send me a pic and we'll put like a little.
See, I have hardly nothing. I got video though, but I've been showing videos of the club. I used to do like shows and shit, and I was gonna put them on YouTube. I just ain't never done it. But but that's how I built. I was working for it's weird. I was working for the Bureau of Coastal Affairs.
Okay.
And I used to help the guys write grants and shit so they could get money from the city, right?
This is when the city. Good to know.
Oh yeah, they still there, but they don't give up too much money like they used to.
Yeah.
And so that's how I met Bill Nunn and Sam Jackson and all these niggas that made it now. And so, because I used to help them write grants so they could get their little funding. Everybody was on CETA. We were all on CETA program. And so Sam and Al and Bill and man, there was so many people on CETA program. There was all kind of musicians on there. Carlos Glover, fucking Joe Jennings. Everybody was on CETA program. They had all these people. And so everybody was working. And so we were like just doing shit. And so they were all real artists. And so like once a trip is this guy John Riddle had a funeral. He died. Him and I go way back. He was a very famous artist. He's very popular, and so John, I was at the Mayor Jackson was at the funeral. This is the old mayor of Atlanta, and he was the one who started that shit and used it. And we were sitting there talking about the CETA program during the funeral, after the funeral. And one of the things he said was, of all the things he did during his administration, he felt like that CETA program for the arts was the best thing he did. He said in terms of changing Atlanta's groove, that was the shit. Because it gave all these cats we had at one point, Atlanta had like 4 or 5 black theater companies that were functioning. They were making money and making plays. We had more shit in Atlanta than they had in New York or LA. And nobody even knew about it. But it was all working because they had like 2 or 3 people on the CETA program, and everybody else was they were bumping, they were humping. Al had company, him and Bill Nunn had a company. There was Walter Dallas, and these cats became, Tom and Marsha, Tom Jones and Marsha Jackson, and Tom's been on Broadway. Kenny Leon, he was on CETA, and he's like, his TV, his show and stuff. And everybody started, they were on CETA, and that was how they had a chance to get their art together, to get their thing moving. And then from there, they kept, when the program ran out and the money ran out, now you already got to run and start.
Exactly.
And it changed the groove around here. It changed the groove. Musicians was able to play, the arts and stuff. A lot of the theater, shit is dissolved. It's nowhere like it was, but it was a big deal. It was a big deal. Anyway, on that, you asked me earlier about the film thing. That was how I got into the movie business, because part of my job working for the Bureau, the guy who was my boss, the head grantsman, had helped Maynard Jackson write the proposal for Cable Atlanta when they wanted to lay the cable thing. Okay? All right. So one of the things, Maynard was he was jacking them white folk. Right? He was jacking their ass. He said, if y'all want to lay the cable in Atlanta, because we're the hot item, right, you're going to have to come up with 5 public access facilities. You got to give us so many channels so that people who are underserved can have access to media and all that shit. And that was all part of the condition for them to be able to lay the cable, right? And so when that shit hit, they had all these public access studios. They had to have provide equipment for the folk to use and all that shit. And so I, being in the city and working for him, he said, well, you got to go take the fucking class. And I didn't even want to be bothered. I was so pissed about that shit. So anyway, I went there, took the public access class, and then he made me start videotaping shit, little stuff we were doing for the city. Now it's a trip. Now I've got some of those tapes if you ever want some.
Yes, I do.
But it was like I had done a documentary about the missing and murdered children because I had a video of some of that shit, and then all that stuff got away from me. But so when I started doing it, I wound up getting the bug. This fucking shit is cool. And what happened, I was also coordinating. I had helped write a grant for something called the Atlanta Third World Film Festival. And it was basically movies about liberation struggles all over the world, right?
So cool.
And so what happened, because there was white boy wrote it, and he, but I had to add a whole section because he didn't put enough shit about Negroes, period. So I had to
That was your expertise.
Well, not really. I had to just study and finish the paper up, right?
Okay.
So we could send that shit to National Endowment of Humanity and get that money, right? So we got a big old grant, and so I wound up meeting Angela Davis and Usman Zemban and all these Hadi Garima and all these big shot film producers, because they all came down with their movies, right? And so I met all these folk on the movies, and we're showing the movies, so I had to watch like 20-some liberation flicks. And there was a trip, what's a trip? We would watch movies that would be in Portuguese, we would watch movies that would be in French, we would watch movies that would be in Spanish. They were talking about the United States teaching people how to torture mugs in other countries, and how they would send out, they had a movie about how these people were down in Mexico, and the United States sent these companies down there to help them with birthing centers and shit, and they were sterilizing the women so that they could get rid of the sorry, we're just running. Yeah, but all that shit was going on, and so I was like really into that, right? And so as a result of all of that, I wanted to make movies. So I started doing little documentaries and shit. And so I won a little award with my second ex wife. Yeah. And we won an award. And so I got the bug. And so then later on, I got round up having some problems with the city. So I left, and I took my money from the city and went to film school. And so when I came back from film school, I couldn't get no work. And so I played in a reggae band for 3 years. And that finally clicked when Spike came back to Atlanta. He used to come to my club, which was kind of wild.
Okay, wait. First of all, why Reggae Club? How did you get there? What made you say I want?
Because my ex was she was Rasta.
Okay.
And then when we went to Jamaica, I got all into it.
Yes.
And so I kind of, I was on the edge of all that shit.
Okay.
And so partied with Bob Marley once.
Who is this guy? Now I don't know. I came with my own interpretation of who you are, but listening to you, it just reiterates why this platform is so important, because I had no idea that you're connected to so many things. But I cut you off. You were talking
that's
about,
all right. No, it's cool.
Playing with the reggae band.
Yeah, I was playing the reggae band, but way before that, during there used to be Atlanta used to have there was only one little set of reggae niggas, right? They used to hang out over there in the West End, right?
Sound about right.
Yeah, and it was called Here Now Restaurant, and it was a group of about maybe 40 or 50 that was all the avant-garde Negroes. I won't say all of them, but that was a little clique.
Okay.
There wasn't a whole lot of mugs in the headlocks, and we were making shaker-rays and cultural and all that stuff. And they had a reception for Bob Marley when he showed up and played at the Fox. And so we drummed for him and shit. And he came. He about your size.
Oh, perfect for me.
And then we went into Then we went to the show, and after the show, that's where you ever heard of Michael Gandy Locks?
No.
There's a little bit. You know Gandy? Yeah. That was Gandy's claim to fame. He threw the after party. Nobody knew who that nigga was, right? He threw the after party for the Bob Marley concert. And when they came in, them Negroes all came in. They came around the corner from the Fox and went right across the street to the Agora Ballroom. Right there, was right across the street. And walked in, and we all walked in with him.
We together.
And let me know, niggas played. They played, them niggas started singing with their songs. Gandy was playing songs. We had like the I3s and shit. Them niggas was singing while we were dancing. That's where I got my reggae swerve. Was watching. I was back to back with this nigga getting my shit.
Right there with
that was how I got my shit. I was watching this nigga. Okay, yeah.
I can do that. You're right. Ain't nothing. Challenge accepted.
Testing these big ass smokies and shit. And it was one of the best parties I ever been to, and the whole gang was there. They had the I3s, Peter Tosh, the whole gang. It was the old band.
See, now I'm starting to understand why you're known for your parties.
We had
because
some hell parties.
everybody talks about your
we
parties.
Had some hell parties. We used to have some hell parties, boy. We had some hell parties.
And then they always have space for you to spend the night, so it's okay to get messed up.
I used to tell them, if you could stay tonight, I'll do breakfast in the morning. And I said, don't show your ass up for 11 o'clock, right?
Oh.
And so we would have like Halloween parties. I would have birthday parties.
Every kind of party.
We had every kind of party. And everybody showed, man, we had some good ass times. You know, I wasn't into a lot of pictures. I got a few photographs of that. I can remember the one my one incident is I was working on I'll Fly Away, and I had invited the star of the show, Regina, what's her last name? Regina, I had to look it up. Anyway, Regina.
Bell?
That was a Bell, and it wasn't King. God, what's her name? It was Regina. I need to look it up. Anyway, okay. But she came, and I had only seen her. I'll Fly Away was a TV show that lasted a couple of 3 seasons, and she plays this maid, right? And so me and her would sit and chat it up on the set all the time. And so when I had the party, I told her, come on over, right? And I had never seen her except as a maid.
Right. She got fine on you there.
Oh, man. I was like, damn. She came through early.
The maid is always fine in real life.
She came through. And I was like, damn, I know who the fuck is this? She came as a dream of Genie with the Genie outfit and shit.
Oh, we got to find which Regina.
Yeah, we got to find which Regina. It was I'll Fly Away. She was the star, one of the stars. And I was DJing. She came up and slapped the shit out of me in the back of the head. Said, how come you ain't saying nothing to me?
You're like, I didn't know. Please, baby, please.
Please, baby, please. She slapped the shit out of me. Anyway, that was happening. And then as a trip, her old man showed up, and they were one of the last ones to leave. They had breakfast that morning with us and hung out to the whole thing. She was cool as hell. And so I had we had some good times. Bill and them used to come.
So wait, so you were chef too?
I would cook. I could cook, but my ex she was a real chef.
Okay.
She was a vegetarian chef. So a lot of people had never had like barbecue tofu and she was making all the scrambled tofu.
My mom talks about a lot of her vegetarian dishes.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And then when I won that award, it was on her cooking show. I did a cooking show with her, and that was how I got to my little thing. And so, and she worked for a lot of vegetarian restaurants in town and shit like that. So it was wild. The kids are still militant. They were militant vegetarians until they thought that bacon was a new food group.
Oh, yeah, and your children have children, right? So you a pawpaw.
I'm a pawpaw.
Are you a nice pawpaw?
No, not really, because they're into that.
You thought about it, too. Like, am I nice?
I already told her that shit. Fuck all that. That gentle parenting. Fuck all that.
He doesn't work.
Hell no. You know what? I just don't like bad kids. And if you fucking up in the supermarket or some shit like that.
Do not embarrass me. That's like the number one. Don't.
Papa will beat your ass.
You embarrass them. Oh my God!
Papa, if he might not beat your ass, he will scare you into thinking that it's definitely a possibility.
You gotta have a glare.
That there is a definite chance that this shit could happen.
I'm getting sad because I had no idea we would be this time would go so quickly, but real
That's
quick.
all right. Yeah, that's fine.
Real
I
quick,
understand.
I
I
was just
enjoyed
saying,
talking to you.
I
too.
like talking to you
It
too.
was
Look,
fun.
every time I see Bolaji in the streets, on set, Elaine, wherever it is, I think we both just light up when we see each other, and it may have something to do with the Orisha, because I think we have similar in there. At first, I would say, because I'm an African dancer, so I know you played.
I probably
but you played the bata drums too, right?
No, I was trying to learn it, but I didn't do it. But I played with a bunch of dance companies.
Okay.
And I was learning bata, so I'm not sure if I may have passed you in surprise.
But we went to Cuba together, and that was thanks to
So we was in Cuba together?
Yeah, weren't we? Fulani.
Yeah, with Fulani. You was there?
Yes, that was 2004. Wasn't it?
No. Okay, no, I went the first time. I went with Fulani in 96.
Okay,
so no, you wasn't there yet.
I thought we had
No.
Maybe you look like the other older light-skinned cat.
Yeah, I thought the other light-skinned cat. That's all right. The older.
But you're also like...
That's all right. That's that older other guy.
Before we wrap, I just have to ask you, how did you get your position with the Malcolm X Festival? Because they don't use anybody but you, I swear.
No, they using somebody now because I ain't feeling it no more. Fuck all that.
Oh, shit. You heard it first here.
No.
Wait a minute.
No. I'm not, it's not like a mean thing. They outgrew me. I did it. What happened? This brother, Akinyele, they had something going on. And Bilal, I think Bilal knew them. And I had been me and Bilal had been working together doing sound with the city and shit. Okay. And so I had a PA system. And so they had a thing, an activity back in the 80s, in the late 80s, where they had, what was the brother that was the mayor of that city in Mississippi? And he had been and he just died a while. His son is a mayor now.
Oh, Chokwe.
Chokwe had they were having a big old thing. Man, they had every kind of revolutionary nigga that the planet was over here. They were, there was all kind of wild shit. Anyway, the school kicked them out. They said,
why black men ain't like y'all now? I need y'all to come together.
The school kicked them out. And so they came and got me to do sound for them because they had lost everything. And so me and Chokwe and Akinyele and maybe Bilal, we all rode around because we had to find another location. So we were riding around the venue. So we had a chance to shoot the shit, and that's where I met everybody. And then later on, it was a year or two later, they said, we're trying to do this thing. And I was kind of doing sound for them. They said, we want to do this festival. And they ain't had no money. And so I'll help you. I'll bring the stage and the sound. And we did it. And we did it right out there in the middle of West End Park. And so
been going ever since?
Been going ever since. So we had the first 3 or 4 years, we were out there, it'd be us and about maybe 50, 100 people. And then they used to have a little parade and everything. And like I said, it wasn't, we were just doing it. Bilal would come out and work. We wasn't making shit. And just
a brotherhood of it.
Yeah, it was a brotherhood of it.
Mission.
Yeah, and we was on a mission. We really were. And so what happened, it just grew up. We moved up the hill to where they have the playground. They actually put that shit right where we used to meet. And I'm swearing.
Tired of these revolutionaries.
Yeah, we ain't having them niggas no more.
Right.
And so we started doing it up there, and that's when it started blowing up. And it started getting bigger and bigger. And so Irie and them, they've been coming most of their lives, they can remember. And I always think it was important because nobody hears that kind of conversation no more.
Right.
You don't hear that conversation no more. And even though sometimes you might think it's a little corny, and it is sometimes, but it's important for that conversation to be out here. And I always felt like, left over from the Third World Film Festival and all that. That was my mission in the whole business, was to save the world, right? And I just sort of kind of wound up selling records and CDs and shit.
We're going to reignite that.
Whatever.
Mission. I need to pick your brain some more behind the scenes. But,
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Thank you so much for coming. And again, I've always seen you as a great figure in all the work that you've done for the community, and just listening to your story just lets me know even more. Like, dang, I'm gonna be better with you. Like, let me make sure you got a drink. You cool. You ain't hot. Like, I'm gonna treat you more like the royalty that you deserve.
Whatever.
So,
Don't
thank
listen.
you.
Don't listen. She all right. She all right too.
Continue to be great, and we will have more greatness for you.